When William Weisa embarked on a journey from the Democratic Republic of Congo to Uganda 22 years ago, little did he know his calling was to take care of orphans. Born in the DRC in 1960, he had studied up to Standard 6 and thereafter done a preaching course in church. So the journey out of the DRC, for him, was a religious mission. He left by a riverboat and then took a train at some point. Along the way, he kept stopping by community churches and preaching. Several times, he ran out of money and could not afford transport to the next point, so he hung around the local church, did casual labor here and there until he raised his fare. With no job, Weisa, wife, and daughter got onto a truck on a bumpy ride to Kampala. But he found it hard getting any church to believe his story. It was after weeks of scouring Kampala that the Pentecostal Church of Uganda in Bunga took him under its wing and put him on a Bible study scholarship. With this, he could afford rent in the slummy Kampala Gala for him and his family, as well as a tuition on a theology diploma.
C'était en 1989 où mon église a envoyé les missionnaires en Ouganda. Et j'étais parmi les missionnaires, moi et mon épouse, Cécile Lubanda, qui est mort depuis très longtemps. Et puis quand nous sommes venus en Ouganda, nous avons commencé prêcher la parole de Dieu. Nous avons prêché un peu partout en Ouganda, et au nord, et au sud, à l'ouest et à l'est de l'Ouganda.
Everything seemed fine until his wife started getting ill with diabetes in 1994. She got weaker by the day, and on February 23, 1999, she passed on into the night at Nsambia Hospital after she had her dinner and perused through Alita's homework. Four months later, Weisa's neighbor died, leaving behind a widow and 4 children.
Nasinkana papa nali mfiiriddwa omwami nensigaza abaana bana ng'embeera sinungi upangisa kati nensinkana papa n'angamba jangu tubeere wamu tukole project nsaagaana nenzikiriza nenzija wa papa ne tutandika project twatandikira ku baana 5 baana 5 ne tugenda mu maaso nga tukola obugaali nga tugira waya.
This was the beginning of what would eventually see him gather orphan children to a tune unimagined, with him playing a father figure and the widow showing them motherly care. Weisa's idea of sustaining the then-grown family lay in one thing: selling robotic men on wire bikes, the little robotic toys children pushed around. He got some coins, went to Katwe in downtown Kampala, and bought a kilo of wires from which he and the other 6 family members would forge the bikes. He passed by the then Owino market and picked up little pieces of disposed clothes from tailors. These would work as attire for the robotic bicycle men. Back home, he gathered his family and took them through the handiwork of the wire bike. For days, they worked in their room-cum-workshop making wire bikes, which he then took to sell on the street in the evening. He came back home with food for the children and more raw materials.
Ng'agenda mu tawuni nga tufuna ekyokulya nga ebintu bigenda birinnya nga ebintu bigenda byeyongera mpaka n'okutuusa kaakati we tutuuse kati emyaka mbara 13 kati wetuli kati abaana kati baweze bangi mukama tuwadde omukisa abaana bange bakuze basoma 6 ne bamala kati bakulu kati nange wendi wano.
By the time I lost my dad, I was 14 years old. Remember, my dad was the one paying my school fees. I was in senior 1 by then. My mom was not working, she was a housewife. So after my dad dying, I had problems paying school fees. I spent like 2 terms without going to school. Until, like I told you, a friend of mine reached me by then and told me about Mr. Mwesa William, who is beginning a project whereby they are using handcraft to sell and get money, which can sustain us, pay fees, buy food and rent.
My dad used to work on safaris. He was an engineer, so he could go safari to do construction. Now, when he went that time, they got an accident, fell from the building where he was constructing, so they just had to tell us and to bring the dead body back home.
By the time I was like a child and I was knowing some of the things, I was with my grandmother in the village, and then there came to the death of my parents, whereby the dad died of the accident. So the mom, the years came like 2 years after, she also passed away.
Ngatanga tenafa twali mu ssanyu nga tusoma bulungi, naye ogenda okufa yali yatuzimbira ennyumba nga baganda bange bo bali mu kisulo, naye nga nze ndi mudde kubanga nze yali waka omuto. Naye nga tannaba kufa yasooka nafuninamu omusujja n'amutwala mu ddwaliro, naye ng'omusujja tebagulaba. Kati ne bamuwa ekitanda n'abeera nga mu ddwaliro, naye ffe nga tusoma ne tumala ne tuwummula ng'era akyali mulwadde. Olwamala abasawo ne bagamba nti nno bamuloga, kati n'abeerawo ng'omusujja gumuluma, n'abeerawo olwamala n'afa.
My father died when I was young. Now I don't know much about him. Before I came here, my mother did not have enough money to pay for me school fees, and her friend told her that here there is a project, and then they brought me here.
So my dad was buried and I lost him from that day. Now we started living with my mom alone, and my mom was not that educated, so she could just struggle to get money to pay for us. And in my P7, that's where the situation was very hard, because my mom couldn't pay for all of us, 3 of us in my family, because I'm the last born, and my sister, I have elder sisters. So that time was too hard that a friend got to know about this project via radio, and they told her about it. Because she couldn't manage all of us, she decided to go and request if they could allow and help me to educate me.
Before we went to Bombo, we used to live at Gaba, and then my mother remembered how the treasures Dad left, and then we went there at Bombo because they told her that your dad used to work for the UPDF soldiers. And when we went there, my mother got a job, a small job, and we got a house. And then I had told my mother that I want to go and I meet my brother, because Moses, my brother, used to live at Agape Kids Home.
My father died, and the mother didn't have enough support, so she saw Papa was working in the town with the kids, Then she met with Papa and told him that I have a kid and I want to bring him here. Then Papa allowed her. Then I came here.
Papa told us how things are working. Like here in our project, it's not like other projects whereby you go, they find you a sponsor, begin paying for you school fees. Here it's a different case. It's like we have to make these handcrafts, go out to streets, sell them, get money, so that you can be able to pay your fees. I listened well and I said, well, I had nothing to do, otherwise to come in. So by then he used to ask for LOC letters, local council letters from a guardian you are staying with. I brought all that. Then we started making these handcrafts I'm telling you of. The task was not easy because, as you know, Africa is a hot country. You have to carry these bicycles from morning like up to evening, moving around town, moving around streets, moving around markets, looking for money. But we had to persevere so that we can have a bright future and we can get money to go to school.
Then, one day in early 2002, William attended Children's Conference where he heard about children's rights and how it is not safe for anyone to keep children without legal documentation. 6 months later, Orphan Children's Aid Project, OCAP, a non-governmental organization offering welfare and community services, was incorporated. Over the last 10 years of OCAP's existence, with 52 orphans, 6 girls and 46 boys aged between 6 and 21 years, William and the kids have pushed through thick and thin.
Here, my life continued going so good, well, and things I experienced here, I learned how to make the unicycle toys.
A lot I've learned from this project because I learned how to make toys, to do handcraft. I learned how to use sewing machines. Now I can use sewing machines.
Wanene mwagape ndi musanyufu kubanga insoma ekirala ndya bulungi kubanga nali ewaffe essomero lye naliko lyali terina standard nnungi n'essoma na bulungi naye kuba najjo wano eno.
They are teaching us how to dance, and the dance is so interesting. Yeah, and I like it.
To stay inspired, they have sung, danced, and held drama shows in church. Sometimes they have completely lacked basic necessities like food, but are still grateful to God for the gift of life and for the free primary education.
Kusoma